It can seem almost impossible to decipher dog food packaging so you can work out actually what's in your dog's food. Even knowing how much meat a diet contains is far from easy. And so today I'm going to talk you through a really simple way that you can use your dog food's name to work out how much meat it contains. And make sure you stick around to the end, where I'm also going to be talking about how the ingredients list can be really deceiving. Hi, I'm veterinarian Dr. Alex from ourpetshealth.com, and my aim is to help you understand and optimize your dog's health so that they can live the full and happy life that you want for them. And I know you want to give your dog the best food possible because you appreciate how important this is when it comes to their overall health. Now, what this looks like will be different for different families, but let's jump into how the name can help you understand and make sure you're picking the right dog food for your furry family member. Now, the FDA have devised a pretty simple naming strategy that, at least in the US, all dog food manufacturers have to follow, and the name relates to how much meat percentage is in that diet. And we can break these names into 4 separate groups, with the first being that the meat is the first thing that's said. So an example would be beef dog food, and this means that the diet must contain over 95% of that meat. Now, if instead the diet contains a couple of different meat types, for example, beef and liver diet, we know that the combined beef and liver must also add up to over 95% of that diet's composition. And we also know that because beef is the first protein on that name, there is more beef than liver. And the second naming convention is to use a descriptive name. So that could be beef platter, entree, formula, nuggets, recipe, any name that has got a description after the protein, so the beef, the chicken, the pork, for example, means that that diet will contain between 25 and 95% meat. Now, that's clearly a pretty big range, but there's really no way to get more detail than that by using just the name alone. That said, personally, I'd probably assume that it's closer to the 25% mark rather than that 95% mark. So the third naming convention is with the meat. So for example, dog food with beef. Now, if you see this, it means that the diet will contain between 3 and 5% beef as its overall components. That's really not a lot. But it does get worse because the fourth group will say flavour. So dog food that's beef flavour may actually not contain any beef at all. And if you look at the ingredients list, the chances are you won't find beef on that list. And this can be really confusing and really quite tricky, because what you'll often see is on the bag there'll be a fresh cut of beef, there'll be a picture of a chicken that really is trying to trick you into thinking that there is meat in this diet. But if it says flavour, you can be pretty much guaranteed that it's not actually going to contain that meat or any meat at all. Now, when you're looking at the ingredients list on the back of your dog's food, what you need to remember is that the list is in order by weight of how much that ingredient is contained within the diet. So really what we should be looking for first is that the meat component is first if you're looking for a high meat diet. What you really need to bear in mind though is that manufacturers know that you're looking for this, and they can do a number of different things to catch you out, to make you think that there is more meat in there than, for example, grains. Now, a couple of ways that they can do this is by actually splitting grains. So if they use a couple of different types of grain, then they can include those separately on the ingredients list, and so they will appear lower down compared to that beef component, for example. But this trick can also be done for a single ingredient. For example, you could just say maize, and that could be the single ingredient, but it might be that it says maize flour, maize gluten, or maize meal separately. And if those 3 different types of maize, which after all is the same ingredient really, if those 3 different types of ingredient are listed, then again, they could be further down that ingredients list. So there's so much to think about when it comes to choosing the best food for your dog. Make sure you check out the playlist linked on screen now to dive deeper into this topic so that you can choose the best diet for your furry family member. And until next time, I'm Dr. Alex. This is Our Pets Health, because they're family.